Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back. Another episode of Be You podcast, part of Supermom's Magic Circle. Today we have Tara, and you're gonna love her. But before I go to present my amazing guest for tonight, I want to share again that I have an amazing opportunity for you. If you feel like you're stuck in your business or if you feel you're ready to grow, just send me a fire. And then I know I can offer my two free clarity sessions. I offer two of them. So pick yours, okay? Just send me a fire and we can make some magic together. So this is all from today. Now let's start with Tara. We have Tara Noblock. She is amazing. She's incredible. She's a life coach, but also a sales coach. And what she does, you're gonna love it. She's kind of teaching you how to be $1 million, how to feel like $1 million. So we're gonna talk about $1 million today. And she has a beautiful journey. She's a mom of two. She has a 4 years old and also 6 years old. And we're going to learn so much from her. You're going to love it. Let's say hello to Tara. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very excited and I can't wait to learn from you because I know you have like 20 years experience in corporate and you're doing those amazing things. And I loved when you mentioned to me that you made a shift in your identity as well. You used to
Big
call
time.
yourself a life coach and then, yeah, tell us about that. Let's just crack on with that. Can you share us your story
Um,
with us?
yeah, I don't know. I spent a long time in a male-dominated profession in power engineering and I chased the challenge and I did all kinds of things. Then if I'm honest, I it wasn't the type of job I could see myself doing as a mom. So I gave it up, came home because I worked away and went, what am I going to do? And I picked real estate and I did that for 9 years. And that's what I did when my babies were babies, and it was intense and the on-call and whatnot. And I loved it and did it for 9 years. But then, I got into the personal development mindset world and it just blew my mind. And, I always want to help people, but it's like, in what way is the most impactful, the most, what feels like the authentic me? How can I give the most? So I transitioned into being a mindset coach. And further still, to me, it's never been about making the $1 million. So yes, we want money. It's a tool. It's beautiful. We can use it. But like, what about feeling like $1 million? That's the changes that I've made in my own life, and that's the changes I want to help people with. And I'm like, what could be more beautiful, meaningful than waking up and like, I am truly happy and I'm truly grateful and I feel it in my entire being. That's what I need to do. That's what I need to share with people. So that's the progression, but that's where I'm at, and I love it. I love it.
I love everything about you. Thank you so much. I love your enthusiasm. I love how open and honest you are. And that's so important to feel like $1 million. Let's go more into that. Tell me more. What do you think about wealth in general and the feeling of? Because it might be different from each of us. But when we say the word million, you
Yeah.
already have that vibration like, oh, I'm a great achiever, right? Or you already think
Yes, like it
about
feels
wealth.
good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and the way I try and picture wealth is it's not just money. You're happy, healthy, wealthy. If you have $1 million in the bank account, but you have nobody to share it with, is that really wealth? You know, what if you feel like $1 million, but you don't have two pennies to rub together to feed your kids? Is that wealth? So to me, true wealth is all of it, feeling incredible, embracing every single part of who you are because it is beautiful, and loving yourself. And we haven't been taught this. I know myself as a mom, I'm always told you've got to fill your cup first and then you can help other people. And I always thought, great, but I'm giving them the last couple of drops and nobody taught me how to fill my cup. So it sounds good, but like, how do I actually do that? Or they'd say, do gratitude. Okay, my husband, my kids, my house, and I just put it on repeat every day. No, to do it a certain way, So I've become absolutely obsessed because that's just my brain in its comfort zone. Dig into to find out, like, okay, if I'm going to try this practice, how do I do it most efficiently? Because I'm a mom, I don't have time to waste. I want to do it the effective way. Um, how are they doing it? Why are they doing it? Why does it work? Then it's like I've got my buy-in, and then I'm the guinea pig. I test it all out on myself first because I'm not going to tell somebody to do something and believe that it works unless I've seen the results myself. So I've been testing out all kinds of things, and before I would do gratitude, just list off things. No, you need to slow down and feel the feeling of the thing that you're saying. So if it's like, I'm grateful for my husband, okay, stop and feel, how does that feel? Like, oh, when he hugs me, and, how does it feel to be in his presence? And, do I feel taken care of? Do I feel respected? Do I feel happy? Like, spend time in the feeling. That feeling is the importance of the gratitude, so you pick things, but if you're not feeling the feeling, that's why it's not effective, maybe as it could be, and then there's visualization and meditation and tapping and like all these beautiful practices. But if you're not shown how to use it, a lot of times we just think, well, it doesn't work, but you've got to have the faith that it works and then spaced repetition practice it for like 21 days, even though it feels silly. Then you will see the reward and you are so convinced, like, I can't live any other way. It just feels too good.
That's phenomenal. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I can relate
Yeah,
100% with what you said. Everything you said from the beginning with the cup, yes. Everyone says that. And how do you
I
do
know.
that?
I know. We're
What
not
was your
taught.
secret? What was your secret with that? How did you learn to fill your cup so then you can help your kids and your husband and your business and everyone else?
Uh, I've had mentors of a different sort for the last 9 years. It was either sales and production being in real estate or mindset, but different interpretations of it. And I think I pulled pieces from all of it and just kind of collaborated. It kept the pieces that worked for me because different things are going to work for different people. But one of the biggest ones that really started to fill my cup was to change the way I think about my ability as a mom. And you go subconscious, like journaling is really good to dig in. Okay, do I feel like I'm a good mom? Okay, step that back. What does it mean, in my opinion, to be a good mom? Not what my mom says, not what society says, not what my husband says. Forget all of them for just a minute. What do I think that means? And for me, that took so much pressure off. It was a fairly quick switch, to get to a point where, like, I am a great mom. You know, it doesn't mean I have to have all the laundry done every single day. Everybody has clean clothes. Like, just scale it down, or what does it mean to be a good daughter? I had a lot of pressure with that one, or a good sibling, or a good realtor, a good coach, all these things. Um, the more I went inside and thought subconsciously, like dig in, really, what do I think of this stuff? And started to change my thinking, which is why I always call it like it's a mind shift. It's not,
Mm.
it's you're just shifting your perspective, seeing it a little bit differently. And I started to choose my own rules or my own standards for every different piece of my life. And it freed up so much mental space and so much time. Whereas before, you know, I'm just a totally swamped, busy, chaotic. Our life is nuts. I'm in survival mode, mom, too. I don't have any time to take on this new learning. I'm already exhausted. How am I supposed to put myself first? It just feels like more pressure, more work to do. And I just remember like how it felt. But the more I let go of it, created all this space. And it's like now one practice that I've started with. I'll wake up early before my kids on purpose, and I do nothing but drink a coffee and like do my gratitude, and I just sit in silence. And I find that just sets the tone for the day so that when
Mm.
things get stressful and like life has contrast, that's normal, my reaction is so different because I believe in myself and I love myself and I talk to myself in a way I was never taught to. I would be kind to a friend, but if I'm really honest, really mean to myself, I had to change that. And it just gets more and more beautiful and it's a ripple effect. And yeah, I love it.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you, Tara, so much. So much value you just gave us there. And I have to say, congratulations. Congratulations, because you still have young children. So they are 4 and 6. And
Yeah,
look at you. You managed to get to this stage when you can start creating the life that you want instead of just reacting to it. So you start
yeah,
enjoying. And I love that waking up earlier and you start your day and it's just you, yourself, and it's really beautiful. And like you mentioned, I have to say, like with the gratitude as well, yes, you do need to try different things. You do need to try and experiment and just see what
yeah.
works for you. Because, like you said, it's not always what works for me, it might work for you,
No,
but just try it and see. Yeah, that's really nice. Thank you so much. I'm so excited. I feel like, oh my gosh, we have very similar brains, very
I,
similar passions, and I love you're gonna love the community as well. Super Moms Magic Circle. They're all about business moms, and they love to know. and that they are doing a good job. So, like you said, they want to be a
Yes.
good mom, that's for sure. And I'm always
Yeah.
saying you do need to create the business to work for you and your family. You don't want another 9 to 5 job. So,
No.
what was your secret? What would you say? How do you balance being a mom, being a business owner, and what, this perfect combo looks like in your life?
I think that'll always be a work in progress, but it's not about I've totally eliminated from my brain this idea of perfection. I lived with that too long in my life. Just get rid of it. There is no perfect, there is no normal. The second I could let that go, I felt more free. And then I started to see the limits I was putting on, putting allowing to live in my head, I'll say. Um, which a lot of the time for years without realizing it, I was absolutely convinced it was my truth that I cannot have the business that I want and be the type of mom that I want because that's doing super mom and it's too much and it's crazy and like it looks nice to other people, but it's not actually possible. But when it's by my own set of rules of what that means to be a mom and what that means to grow a business, I could see that it's actually, yes, it is very possible for me. Then you switch it to the how can I instead of like, I can't, I can't, I can't. Because I mean, I'll even use this year for an example. I've got some big, beautiful business goals. I want to help a lot of people, but my youngest son does not go to full day school. Reality is I've got about 3 hours on a weekday morning where I can focus on work. And so that was I could say excuse, but it was a block for me. And
Hmm.
until I rewired my thinking to go, no, I actually could, if I want to, utilize that time to do X, Y, Z. What are my options here? But I really had to rewire it to, I don't have time to, I actually do have a lot of time. And I remember when my mentor said that to me, she wasn't a mom and I was, and she's going, you have more time than you realize. You just have to believe you have time. And I went, I can't hear that from a non-mom. Like you don't know how busy it actually is. Come on.
Mm.
But I had shifted my thinking enough other areas of my life that I'm like, well, I'm just going to try it. Wake up in the morning and shit's hitting the fan, the chaos is going on, the struggle is real. And I'm just going to tell myself that I've got enough time. Come on. But I did it on repeat until I believed the belief. Then more time started to appear. And I was like, whoa, this stuff is really good. Where else can I use this? So it always comes down to making a shift inside. Like you don't need the buy-in from other people or even the support of other people, which sounds mean, but all the changes happen in here. So whatever it is that you want to change in your life, you have the power to change it all on your own. Um, but like do it in a community of like-minded people. It's just so much more fun. It's so much easier to do it as part of a group who's going to support you. But at the end of the day, like the change happens with the homework that you do and the time that you take for yourself to do it. It's an internal job. It always is. But we've been taught that everything is external.
Yes, yes. And I can relate to that 100%. So my journey wasn't very easy in a way. I was stuck for 4 years, like in really deep pain, depression, anxiety, sickness,
Yeah, me
illness, you
too.
name it. So
Yeah.
this is, yeah, well, here you go. High five to that. Yes,
Yeah.
we've been through the same struggle and now
We've
look
all
at
been
us.
there. Yes.
We are helping others. So this is how I started my stress management coaching back then in 2019. But I realized that it's just me. I can help myself. And it was
Yeah.
very hard to understand that. It was really tough to really take responsibility for that. It was
It's a
huge.
shift. Yes.
It was, but look, it's great. Like I had to be through that. So now obviously I can help others. And it's like it's phenomenal what
Exactly.
I yeah, I've been yeah, that's great.
Does
But can I just say I wanted to ask you, what's your perspective about time and prioritizing? Because you mentioned about people usually are saying you don't have time. And
yeah.
I'm always saying if it's important to you, you're gonna make time. So you're gonna create that time. So
Yeah.
what's your perspective about that and time and in general?
I think it's both. Like when we feel totally swamped, it's because we have way too much to do, and that's real. But when you start to shift your thinking, some of the things come off of your plate, and that alone creates time. But at the same time, if it's something like to me, mindset work is like top priority. Just making sure that I feel like I love myself and I'm filling my cup, those are top priority because the amount of love that I can give when I feel good, it is my top priority. So it's both. It's like I feel like as you go more inside and start to change your thoughts, those things that felt really important just start to go away and that creates space. But at the same time, prioritize that work because it is hugely impactful, and it just makes you feel so good. And you just start shedding the other stuff. So both can happen at the same time, because I know I used to be like, especially in real estate, I was busy. I worked every single day. I was on call 7 days a week. If my client wanted me, I was there. And at the same time, I'm trying to parent my kids, and my husband was a shift worker. And it's like, but
Hectic.
looking back, yeah, and I'm like, yes, that was real. The struggle was real. The problem was I couldn't see a way out of it. But when I started to shift my perspective, I started going, okay, that thing that I spend an hour on every day, let's look at it with a different set of eyes and go, is that really important? You know, could I delegate it? Could I give it to somebody else? Or could it just not be done at all? But I couldn't see it from that perspective until I started to play with it. So it's eliminating a lot of stuff that just didn't need to be there, but it's not just tasks. I learned that I used to be like a saver. I've got to fix people and save them. So how much mental power was I trying, like, oh, I learned that I have to tell my mom because it would be so good for her to understand this. That's taking up mental space. So not only was I physically busy doing stuff, my mental space was cluttered too. And then when I let it go, I'm like, I'm actually not responsible for if she wants to know this or not. I can't actually help anybody until they say yes to me. Okay, let it go. And like, holy, did my mind go from like the hamster wheel constantly, 24 hours a day, like had a hard time shutting my brain off at night, to, oh, what would I like to think about today? And my
Wow.
kids are happy. And I mean, now we have three animals in the house, and that would have stressed me out before. And now I'm like, they're good. It just feels so simple, but it's just this like unloading. Um,
Yeah, it is
yeah.
simple. Once you start doing it, it is simple. And everyone
Yes.
makes this sound like it's so complicated. But actually, keep it simple. It can be simple if you want to make it simple.
It
And look
it
at
is
you. I love
simple.
it.
Yeah.
So,
It just it looks not simple at the beginning, but if you
mm,
try it, then when you look back, it's like, oh, so easy. Well, not when it's new and the belief's not there, right? So many
mm,
times it's like, oh, they can do it, but not me. And it's like, no, but if you believed that you could and you build that belief, you will get there. It is literally guaranteed. But you have to trust the process. And it's like it feels weird in the beginning, but it's so worth it.
it is 100. I remember I had conversations with my husband years ago, and I was always asking, like, what are you thinking of? And he was like, nothing, I'm just relaxing. Like, what do you mean
Right?
nothing? Like, for me, it was like a aha moment. Like, how can you do that? Like, really? You are not thinking nothing at all? He was like, no, well, we are watching a movie now, or we are relaxing, right? I'm like, yes, but my mind is on autopilot. My brain is on fire.
Yes.
Like,
Well, the
so
mental load, right?
yes,
It's
yeah. So this
the
was years
groceries
back.
and the clothes and the like it
Hmm.
never stops, right? But even
Yes.
that's optional,
It
you
is,
know?
absolutely. And
Yeah.
starting to stop helping others and pleasing others. And like you said, they might not even want my help. Like, they are not ready for the change. They are not ready to
No.
transform their lives. And I was just trying to share with them, like, this is amazing. You can do this. And yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Definitely we have lots in common.
Oh, well, and
So,
I feel like everybody who gets like into like well, anywhere you want to help people, right? You find your passion, you're like, I want to tell everybody, I want to help everybody, everybody needs this. It's hard to go, yes, but not everybody wants it, or not everybody is ready. So I had to shift my perspective on that when I was a new coach too, to be like, okay, when somebody gives me permission to share with them, that's the best
wow.
feeling right there. Because if I don't have their permission, I'm not going to share anymore because I'm not helping, I'm hurting. But
Mm,
if they want the help, oh man, I'm waiting for you with my arms open. I'm so excited. But I had to stop. It was too much pressure.
yeah, I
Like,
love that. That
it's
was a
their
game
choice.
changer for you. I can see that. Like, it's huge.
Yeah.
I'm always doing the same. I'm like, the same, because I've been through that as well. And like you said, you do want to work with action takers, people that
Yes.
are ready for it.
Yes.
So that's for sure. Now, let's go back to your real estate because I
Sure.
feel that you have so much to share with us from there. Tell me, what sort of skills do you think you learned? What made you, as a person, I would say, or as a skill set, in real estate? Because I know it's a tough market to be in. I know it's a very difficult industry and you need really tough
It
skin.
is. It is, but I also well, I'll just say in sales, right? Because real estate is sales, and there's so many jobs that are sales, whether we want to say it out loud or not.
Hmm.
Um, But sales are beautiful and sales are all mindset. They're all mindset because when I look back at the 9 years and I did well, I didn't quit because I was failing out. I did pretty good and I'm proud of myself. But I can see when I was feeling good, when I had control of my thoughts, how the market was did not matter. And I know a lot of like I'm in Canada, our market here is terrible right now and nobody's buying and selling and all these things. But the realtors that I know that are taking control over their thoughts, they're having their best years, and that's not to say it's not challenging. Of course it is. But if you wake up every day with, I'm bothering people, it's a lose situation for somebody if I sell them, or I'm not very good at my job. If those are your subconscious thoughts when you're doing your job, it's not going to work that well. It's going to be harder with the same amount of effort. But if you come at it as, I don't care what the market is doing, there's going to be people that I can help, and my job is to find them. And I'm really good at my job, and I'm going to do a fantastic job. And when I sell somebody something, it's win-win for both of us. And you truly believe in your subconscious that those things are true. You should see the reaction and the actions, and like it's beautiful. And I know a lot of people in sales, they don't believe that sales is a good thing. And that comes across to people,
Mm,
or if you get too motivated for the wrong reasons, if you're not picking the right goal because it's important to you, I call it commission breath. You're just pushing to try and get the sale. People just repel, and they should, because it's not about them, it's about you. They can feel that. So I learned about commission breath and I learned about different personality types, and I had a lot of fun with it. The people dynamic was totally my favorite of real estate, but I learned a lot about sales during that time and a lot about why I loved it, because I love being a part of somebody's life during a big transition like that. And it makes sense that, in hindsight, that I would spend 9 years learning that. And then this is the next step. Like it all makes sense. It all contributes. It's actually not starting over. There's parts of my power engineering experience that help me to coach, and there's part of real estate. It's all contributing. Even if you don't see it yet, it was all for a reason. There is no such thing as a wrong decision even if it feels like it in the moment. It's just part of your path. It's fine. It's good. It's beautiful.
and that's the beauty of it, especially as a coach. You can bring all those knowledge, experience, everything, skills, all those transferable ones in your business. And it's
Yeah.
beautiful and unique because nobody in this world will have exactly the same skill set as Tara or exactly the same experience as you. You are unique just because of whatever you've been through so far. So I work a lot with coaches and healers, and I love it. I have to say, I strongly believe that each of us, we have a gift. Some of us, we don't know it yet, but some
That's
of
okay.
us, we are, yes, exactly, it's fine. And some of us, we already identified our superpowers. And
Yes.
now this is the
That's
time when,
my fit. Superpowers. Yes.
yes,
Yes.
and this is when I'm like, let's create some magic. Let's share with the world your superpowers and your gifts.
Yes.
And they got stuck. I have to say, the majority of my clients at some point, they start believing in themselves. They know they are really good at what they are doing. And then the sales part kicks in.
Yes.
And this is when they freeze because they want to help people, they don't want to sell.
Yes.
So, what would be your response to this situation? How a coach or a healer could actually go through that and see sales in a different way?
You have to get yourself to a place, and this is your choosing. If you want to say you're brainwashing yourself, that's what it is. It is your choice. But if you can get to a place where your perspective and your belief of selling is good, if it's hard for you to sell, it's because there's something in you. If you think of the used car salesman, they're snaky, they're trying to rip me off, they're trying to take my money. There's some beliefs going on subconsciously about selling that are holding you back. If you can change them, which you just reaffirm it and keep repeating it, change those beliefs about selling, you will love to sell, and then it won't be a barrier anymore. It won't be holding you back because you can be the most phenomenal coach in the world and have all the passion in the world, but if you can't sell, you have nobody to teach, you know? So I always think of it as like when I'm on a call and I'm speaking with somebody and they tell me yes, I'm not excited about the money. I will take it, thank you, because it's a very, very fair exchange for the value I'm bringing. But I'm so excited because they gave me the permission That's the part that I'm excited about. So you can, play with your thoughts, but at the end, when you look at selling and your ability to sell and how you approach it, like look at it from all angles until you get to a point where you can see that selling is actually beautiful and it's a good sale when it's win-win for both people, you know? And I know there's also a hesitation sometimes when you're asking for the money, if it's a certain dollar value, if I don't feel like absolutely confident in the course that I'm selling and absolutely confident about the price, I'm not going to sell it. It was the same in real estate. If somebody wanted $500,000 for a crappy little property, I can't do it. It's
Mm.
like against my moral code. So you can self-reflect on, okay, what parts of your business, where is the hesitation? You can shift that belief and it won't be a barrier anymore. It'll be fun.
It's fun. I love that. Fun.
Yes.
We have to make it fun. And
Yes.
once you believe in yourself, like you said, then if you are comfortable with your numbers, because I believe we all have a number, we are all
Yeah.
comfortable with, we know our value or our worth, or we just have different numbers in our head and we
Yeah.
know what we want to sell. And once you get comfortable with your numbers, this is when you're
Yes.
going to attract the people that will be comfortable with your numbers.
Yes.
So, how would you react to a no if someone says no?
Well, it depends on the no. A lot of times, like one thing that I talk with a lot of people on sales calls is we're talking about my course, and most people give you the money. Okay, it's too much money. And what I always ask is, and this is my perspective on it as a coach, if you don't want the program, I don't want to push you towards it. That makes no sense for me, like none. So it's like, let's put the money aside. If money wasn't an objection, if it wasn't, bringing up some beliefs for you, because that's what's actually happening. It's your subconscious, your paradigm going, this is scary, it's not comfortable, don't do that, stay in the comfort zone. It's not actually about the money. But money aside, is this something that you even want? If you had the money, would you be saying yes right now? Because if you are saying yes with the money aside, then I should encourage you to do it because you're telling me you want the help. I'm just going to have to help you through this money block that you've got so you can coach them through it. But I don't want to sell somebody who's not interested in my course. Not at all.
Mm.
Where is the value in that? I don't want your money and you don't get the results. I want every single one of my clients to have phenomenal results. So part of my mindset on that during that conversation is, are we aligned? Like for me as a mentor, you need to trust me. You need to open up to me because we're going to dig down a little bit and I'm going to ask you some questions and ask you to reflect on them. If you're not up for it, then we should not be working together because you're not going to get the results. I want amazing testimonials from every one of my clients. So sometimes, yes, I need to push, but I need to know that you want it first.
Hmm. I love that. I love that. And that's incredible because like you said, the most important thing is to make sure you are on the same page with your
Yes,
client.
yes,
So a few years ago, this is the first time, probably like 2 or 3 years ago, when I started to say no, which is like, oh my gosh, what have I done? And someone was asking me like, why did you say no to I'm like, you know why? Because we are not aligned. And I
yes.
know it's not gonna work. And I know it's
And
gonna be
that's
a lot of
okay.
work for me. And yeah, exactly. And it's okay because in the end it's going to give me more headache and then I'm not going to see results. So if and then I'm happy now because I can say yes, I can be selective as well. So when I
Yes,
really do those calls, I'm like 100%, let's see if are we a match because
yes.
we could work or we can. So it's fine. It's
Yeah,
absolutely fine. I love everything you just said, Sarah. Thank you so much. Tell us about your program. Do you still have a course at the moment? Do you still run a course? So tell us
I
a
do.
bit about
Yeah.
your business or where people can find you.
Well, I've still got all the social media stuff, I suppose. I don't have a website right now. I'll work on that.
That's fine.
But I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. If you search for my name, Tara Knobloch, you'll find me. So the way that I can help the people the most is my 6-month mentorship, because to rewire your thoughts takes time and you need to understand the information so you can use it. And then you've got to use it until it becomes a habit for you. So you choose what your goals are, but I can help you bring it out. Meaning,
Mhm.
I wasn't taught to say out loud what it is that I want. I'm supposed to be happy with what I have, don't want for more. It's being ungrateful, all these thoughts. So I can help people get to a place to say out loud, what is it that you truly want that lights your soul on fire? Help you to pick a goal. Then we go through different things like, okay, here's what I know I should be doing, but I'm not doing it. I know I need to get on sales calls with people. I'm not doing it. There's a gap. Why is that? Let's close the gap. But it's all out of positivity and love and no guilt, and support, because it can be done with no negative feelings whatsoever. and it really is a transformative self-growth path, but you also get to reach your goals in the process. So we spend 6 months together, working intimately. We have a group environment, but it's, I always say, you've got me on speed dial. There's no such thing as a silly question. I want to hear from you, and don't you dare stay stuck and don't tell me. I'm your guide. I'm supposed to be helping you. So that's what I help people with.
That's beautiful, Tara. Honestly, I love everything you do. And I'm just so glad you said yes to Be You podcast. And thank you for sharing
Me too.
everything with us. It's been phenomenal. So, everyone who wants to get in touch with Tara, please go. You saw how beautiful she is. You saw how amazing she is. And her passion and her knowledge is definitely amazing. So, go connect with her. You can send her a butterfly so she knows you're coming from this community and she's waiting to start working
Beautiful.
with you.
I
Is there a
can't wait.
final, that's good. Is there a final message you like to leave the audience with?
I want everybody in this whole world to love the crap out of themselves. Like have, if you could see who you are, because you are already incredible, you are already powerful, you are already deserving and worthy and all the things. I want you to see that and know that it's true in your core, because it is true for every single person. That's my mission. That's all I want to say.
That's beautiful. I love it. I love it. So if you want to feel like $1 million, go and connect with Tara. She will help you on the way. This was all from today. And remember, I still have 2 slots available if you are ready to grow your business and if you are ready to get that clarity. If you're feeling stuck or you're unsure, just contact me. Send me that fire and then we can start creating some magic together. This is all from today. Keep on smiling, keep on shining. Until next time. Bye.